Ladies and gents, sound check, sound check, sound check. I actually watched this super detailed YouTube video about how to get your OBS sound with a USB podcast mic. Really good. I think the only thing that isn't probably coming through that I learned on that is like the advanced bass settings. So I don't know. Hopefully it sounds good. If it sounds less than good, then please inform me in the chat, you know, how my mic is sounding if I'm away from it. Big difference. Any cessation in my voice? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess I have to ask you guys throughout the live stream. Anyway, hope you're fucking great, dude. Happy Saturday. I don't know what kind of week you guys had, but I had a relatively crazy week. I guess just like every other week. You know, I put that video out yesterday or the day before about challenging yourself. And yeah, look, life is fucking war, dude. You don't want it any other way. You don't want it any other way. That's it. You know, if things are too good too consistently for me, I know something's wrong. Like there's something I've got to mix up, you know, or I'm not trying my best. Usually the more that you put yourself forward into challenging situations, the more problems arise. More problems arise. Yeah. But that's a good thing. The only way that you become a fucking problem-solving wizard is by problems coming about. And that's usually induced by you going like this. So just wanted to kind of bring that up for you folks. I am huge into personal development, and I hope you guys are too. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about as we get people in the chat. Let me just make sure before I put these images on the screen that these are the right images. I'm going to show you my total testosterone, and I'm also going to show you... Hold on a second. Oh. Give me a sec, guys. I think I just closed the wrong fucking window here, bruh. From my streams. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to show you total testosterone, and I'm also going to show you a pretty radical hematocrit drop. I mean, the most radical hematocrit drop that I think I've ever seen, you know, in client work or across the web or whatever. Just to give you guys an idea that ultimately you can... Let's see, this is the one. That's not the one. You can drop hematocrit like pretty quickly, pretty low, you know, and it just isn't something that like it's something that you have control over. You know, a lot of folks that go on test may have an issue with hematocrit, and it's like some people actually go off of testosterone because of it. It actually is controllable, and I'm going to show you how. But first, let's talk about testosterone. Let me get this into the regimen here. All right, so check this out. Look, what you're looking at here, if I can make this a reasonable size, is my total testosterone and my free testosterone, which are both substantially above range, on the peak of 3 pumps of cream and 50 milligrams of prop every third day. Now, the interesting thing to note about this is that with fast-acting, ultimately short-duration testosterone esters, you can have a substantial peak, but that trough is going to follow pretty quickly. You know, with prop, you're looking at a 20 to 24-hour half-life, and so at the 48-hour, 50-hour mark, a good degree of that testosterone is completely out of the system. This is why you'll find that hematocrit specifically, among other markers that may be troublesome for people that are on TRT, usually aren't troublesome on fast-acting esters like testosterone propionate. So, you know, ultimately I didn't measure on a trough. I will get to doing that. But so this is 3 pumps of cream. Okay, which I was running consistently with Proviron. Remove the Proviron because of hair shedding. It fucking accelerated faster than I thought was possible for my genetics. As well as 50 milligrams of prop. Now, this was on the absolute peak of the props. The injection was the day prior, somewhere around 4 or 5 p.m. So this is peaking on prop as well as day of cream. About 3 hours later, so peaking on cream at 32 fucking 100 nanograms per deciliter. So how does that feel? Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, on my runs, I feel better cardio, which I found interesting. I mean, everything that you'll hear people fearmonger about regarding testosterone is that, you know, it's going to fuck with your cardio, or that it's not good for the cardiovascular system. And thankfully, kind of titans in the industry like Abraham Morgenthaler, among other people, Rand McClain, you know, out in California, have brought to light that, you know, all the literature and have done lectures on the fact that testosterone is not bad for your heart. It's if you don't manage the metabolites, you know, if you're not managing hematocrit, these things can be bad for your heart. So anyway, pretty significant cardio difference. I obviously feel stronger in the gym. It's, you know, it's not enough time for me to see any, you know, significant anabolism, although I'm starting to see it. Keep in mind, for a couple of you that have commented that I have less muscle mass than I should for generous TRT doses. First of all, I've not been on generous TRT doses. I've only recently been experimenting with higher dosing, ultimately. But I also run, you know, every day, which depletes a good bit of glycogen, right? It's kind of hard to get around that unless you're really fucking eating a lot of carbs. And I eat them, but I don't like eating till I'm stuffed. So there's that. Anyway, pretty significant boost in pretty much everything. Obviously, functional cognition, much more improved energy, much more improved over 1200, 1300. What else? Estradiol I haven't looked at because I'm a little fucking scared to look at it at this point. I'm sure it's like 50, 60 or something, and then it troughs back down because these are short-acting modalities. Other than that, obviously, erections are out of fucking control. Libido as well, sensation as well. Yeah, it's just fucking crazy, absolutely crazy. Now, I've removed the cream completely from my regimen because the hair loss that was coming, it was like I'm in the shower, you know, and just throughout the day, dude, I'm seeing my hair all over shit. Like it was definitely coming out quickly. So I had to remove the DHT stuff. I want to get that DHT back down into reasonable range. But, you know, high normal range DHT, I think that's good for me for sexual function, among other things. And so I'm just running prop now. Now I'm kind of in between protocols, so I don't even really know. I'm experimenting with 100 milligrams every third day of prop. Right? So it ultimately, if you do that on a 7-day continuum, which you kind of can't on an every third day injection, it's like you're injecting 2.3 times a week. You know, it doesn't really make sense. But ultimately, if you try to fit it into that parameter of a 7-day period, it's 230 milligrams a week. So that's essentially what I'm running of prop right now. And I feel fucking great. Everything seems to function well. So don't know how that's going to change. I just kind of want to see, you know, prop has, especially when injecting large amounts of at once, some pretty bad PIP. All right, so let's move on to Hematocrit. And by the way, my peak on 100 milligrams of prop, I haven't measured that yet. So it's probably between 2,500 and 3,000, but it's troughing at between 800 and 1,000. Right. So reasonable, right? Reasonable. All right. So let me just find the right hematocrit value. So check this out. In June, okay. This is, no, not in June, in May. In May, this is my hematocrit value. All right. So slightly over range, nothing too troublesome. However, I did have some symptoms at this time. At this time, I went and got a therapeutic phlebotomy. Now, I have some labs that I haven't pulled up for the screen that show that after the therapeutic phlebotomy, it was about a week and a half later, I was at 49. Okay, so 49, whatever the fucking measurement is here on hematocrit, which is in range, still at the top of the range or close to the top of the range. You know, for me, because I was having a degree of symptoms, I wasn't particularly comfortable with that. So what I started doing was upping the dose and taking more consistently of the naringin that I have. So I've got naringin powder, which is the extract from grapefruit that lowers hematocrit, right? You know, it's proven in the scientific literature, it'll lower hemoglobin and hematocrit. Yeah. It's one of those drugs that because it's one of the powerful extracts from grapefruit that taken with other drugs amplifies the amount of the drug in the serum, right? In your fucking blood, right? So if you're taking 10 milligrams tadalafil a day, you know, 2 to 4x that if you have the right dose of naringin. So be careful because you might end up feeling fucking lightheaded and low blood pressure like. So anyway, after what is about 700 milligrams a day of hematocrit, coupled with the new addition of 3-mile runs every day that I can, which is 7 days a week if it's nice out, I want to show you what my new hematocrit is, which was just taken this fucking week. All right, so from May 50 therapeutic phlebotomy down to 49, which is still kind of high. All right, check this out. 700 milligrams naringin daily with 3-mile runs daily. And that's the new crit. 42.5, boys. 42.5 is the new crit. Okay, that is fucking significant. Don't, underestimate the power of grapefruits and grapefruit extract. Okay, this stuff really does work. Now, I think probably this, I think they're both contributing factors, but you got grapefruit and pretty heavy cardio pretty consistently. I mean, it like fucking transformed my hematological parameters. So just wanted to kind of share that with you folks. I think that is, that's important for people to understand. Look, it's not a death sentence, or it's not a death sentence to TRT. Like, you've got to stop taking TRT if the hematocrit goes up. There are strategies to do it. Does it mean that you might have to, go fucking start jogging? Yeah, it might mean that. Might mean that, bro. Might mean that. But it's worth it. All right, it's worth it, especially if you get to continue executing the benefits of, TRT. All right, so let's get to questions. Great questions so far, guys. I think I got a lot. I just want to make sure that, like, I've got my chat up correctly here, because tech was being a little bit wacky today, brother. All right, yeah, it's not quite up. Let me figure that out. Just give me a sec, guys. I got to figure out chat here. Overlay should be good. Browser, this is the overlay. Bing, bang. All right, see if that works. Yeah, here we go. Let's go, boys. We're back. We're in. All right, so first question, Clamal. Love that profile pic, bro. All right, how does your morning routine look like? What supplements do you take daily? Morning routine is wake up 6 a.m. between 5:30 and 6, usually 6 these days. Supplement regimen, 8K IU vitamin D, a bovine desiccated thyroid supplement from New Zealand, which gives me a lot of energy. This shit's actually very fucking powerful. 20 milligrams DHEA, micronized DHEA in the morning. Depending on the day, some fish oil, like a gram of fish oil. Again, my blood pressure tends to run low, so I don't like taking a ton of fish oil because it actually thins my blood a little too much. If it's very significant, I think I'm running 400 milligrams or so of Tutka in the morning, and then depending on what's happening with testosterone, obviously TRT. So right now 100 milligrams test prop every third day, so that injection will be in the morning. I like to split it up, ventral glutes to each. It's really kind of actually rear glute. Split it up because the PIP with prop is pretty significant. You actually do fucking feel it regardless of what you do, especially if you're injecting large amounts at once, which I am. So there's that. Other stuff in the regimen in the morning, once a week 30 milligrams pregnenolone, but that's just kind of once a week kind of thing. I don't do that daily. Trying to think of what else is down there. And then depending on the situation, maybe I'll run zinc if I feel like estrogen is a little high. Same thing with a grapeseed extract, but that's essentially it. Hit the gym 45 minutes, come back, run some errands, grocery store, come back, and then it's business stuff for a while, and then a run at like 11 a.m. to noon. Or noon to 1, whatever, just a run outside. Then back doing more business stuff. And then generally after business stuff is over, the work day is over. It's anyone's guess, dinner, gaming, dating, whatever comes about. All right. My opinion on Russo's PSST solution, neurotransmitter problems and high androgens, 3 grams DHB. Yeah, look, dihydroboldenone is not the only solution. I've never used dihydroboldenone with PFS people. I mean, it's usually a matter of getting the most predominant thing that a PFS person needs in the regimen is DHT. Yeah, DHT. All right, so proviron is really the most effective compound for giving you adequate DHT. It's somewhat mimics the actual half-life of regular DHT, and considering it's methylated DHT, it is the most powerful agent that you can take for increasing dihydrotestosterone like effects in your body. So that's not all, though. I mean, everybody that has PFS seems to have some degree of neurological shit going on. So you've got to address the GABAergic system via things like picamilin. You have to do an overhaul of neurological function if you can via targeted neurogenesis with things like cerebral lysin. If there's a dopaminergic problem, which usually it could be worked on, you would run cycles, not just one cycle, but cycles of 9-MeBC. But at the same time, I think a person also needs to be on HRT. So testosterone, HCG as well. For these people, the really weird thing is that some of them over aromatize, like fucking clinically. They're over aromatizing. They'll be on a modest dose of testosterone, but the estradiol will be at 80. you know, or on the scales over there in the UK, like 400 something, like picomolars per liter, I think it is. Yeah, very, very substantial over aromatizer. So they need estrogen to be controlled very significantly. And then others of them need higher estrogen. They need not to fucking touch estrogen, right? Because estrogen is so, you know, their brain is so sensitive, and estrogen does play a critical role in libido, specifically via aromatization of androgens into estrogen in the brain. So like they need that, you know, they need that in addition to, you know, high levels of testosterone and some DHT input. So yeah, dihydroboldenone may be effective for people. I've just not seen it personally. You know, Russo is a biohacker, so, you know, look, he's going to be doing experimental shit, you know, that's it. We don't know truly what the protocol is. I mean, you know, we presumably he's honest and forthcoming and all this kind of stuff, but we just don't know. All right. Androgenic Cap, good morning, brother. What are the things that cause a crash on PFS? Yeah, the problem with these syndromes is that everything causes it. Everything, you know. I've seen, what did I recently see regress a person? Creatine. It's like, this is a PSSD person, and these guys, you know, likely have like serotonin 5-HT1A receptor malfunction to an extent. Anything that you know, is an agonist at that receptor, it tends to, you know, cause problems, like an excessive serotonergic response, which is going to shut down mental libido fucking almost instantly. So creatine, what did I also see crash a person? Progesterone cream crashed a person. Can't figure out why. You know, it was just kind of something that the guy wanted to bring in, didn't tell me about. We were working together, took progesterone cream and regressed completely for 4 or 5 days or so. My bet on that is that progesterone is somewhat antagonistic to estradiol on TRT. It also, you can't find a clear link on this, like a definitive link, but it may be the case that progesterone is a degree counter to the conversion of test to DHT, right? So, you know, it's like all manner of things. The problem with these people in these sexual syndromes is that they are very sensitive, you know, and they can fucking regress very quickly. However, if you're doing the right things, you should, you know, PFS, PSSD recovery, if you're doing the right things, looks like this. You're trending upward always, but you do this. This is what recovery looks like. Exactly how my hand is moving, right? You're going up, but then you regress. You're going up, and then you regress. You're going up, and then you regress. And that regression happens the entire time until you're just consistently fucking better, which may take a year. Yeah. That's what we're looking at. Rarely have I seen, you know, a 6 month. I mean, there's people talking about 6 month recoveries. I've never seen that before. Yeah. I mean, I've seen close to 6 months, but it's rare. You got to be working with somebody for a long time. And once the protocol straight, they got to continue doing it. You know, the reason it's like, look, I don't need your business. My business is great. Businesses are great. But it's like the reason I like to work with people for 6 months or more is because I need that time. Maybe we need to make many adjustments. We usually do. All right. Bevne, in your opinion, what levels would you consider natural a therapeutic phlebotomy? I did one at 51. What's that? Yeah, I don't even think where the fuck are these images? Yeah, anyway, I did one at 51. Was that? Yeah, that's when I decided to do a therapeutic phlebotomy. It took me down to 49. Then 700 milligrams Naringin and running every day. And I wouldn't say the removal of beef, but just, you know, I still eat pork, some degree of beef, but I just less iron rich foods. And then 42.5. What do you fucking know? So, that's pretty significant. That's a very significant drop. So, you know, I mean, Naringin's a very powerful compound. It's what in grapefruit lowers hematocrit and, you know, clinically. And so I was taking 700 milligrams a day, every day, and running 3 miles a day. Runners, you know, it's called sports anemia. Runners actually have low hematocrit, but it's not clinically significant. It's not a clinical problem, right? But they've got low levels of fucking hematocrit because they're running. They're running every day, right? There's a different, it's like there's more, I forget the explanation, but it's, you know, suffice to say running will lower your crit. At 51, I'd say 51. Yeah, run it. You know, some people are going to tell you if you don't have symptoms, that's not problematic. Oh, okay. you can listen to them and let them make statements on YouTube that might fuck with your health. I think that's stupid. 51, get a fucking phlebotomy or start taking action. All right. Androgenetic Cap, does TB500 have the same hair growth mechanism as finasteride? No. I forget what the mechanism is, but you ought to look it up because there's actually literature on it, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I forget what exactly it's doing, but synthetic thymosin beta 4 in the medical journals facilitates hair growth. Yeah, it's unclear what the dose would be, how long it would take, what you'd really be looking at. I don't know. Again, I lost some hair noticeably. You probably can't notice it because my genes are good on Proviron and cream. I started derma rolling, which, like some of this hair that kind of got fried right around here, my hairline is starting to kind of fuzz back in, which is useful. If I feel like I need to run TB500 for that, then I definitely will. Evney. All right, I've been looking to run 10 milligrams Oxandrolone alongside TRT cream. What kidney, liver, blood markers would you be paying attention to over the long term to assess safety? Yeah, great. Every single liver enzyme. Sure, you could get GFR to see where your kidney functions are. I'd run that like once every 3 weeks or so. I'd run the liver enzymes once every 3 weeks as well, just to see if they're trending upward. Yeah, you want it, you want to have the whole clinical picture. So do you have liver pain? Are you fatigued? Those would be indications in addition to elevated liver enzymes that, your liver is stressed as a result of taking Anavar. My clinic prescribes that, but they also prescribe, it's Tutka plus another compound. I forget what it's not NAC, but it's some other compound that, pretty well known to help liver detox pathways. And so they're preemptively prescribing that. So they know, that that's something to be concerned about. I haven't run the Anavar that I have yet. I've got, 30 tablets of 23 milligrams per tablet of Anavar. I guess that's just how it's compounded in Empower from Defy Medical. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to run half of that, which would be like 12 something a day, when the time comes. Yeah, but yeah, I'd be looking at that. Your lipids. Yeah, look at your lipids. Anavar has the ability to be pretty fucking terrific. I was going to say terrific. Imagine it was terrific. We'd all take it daily. Pretty horrific on the lipids for some people. I don't want to fearmonger, but again, there's things that you can do. Citrus bergamot, among other things, running, D-limonene. Yeah, look into D-limonene for fucking lipids. I think GSE, grapeseed extract, is also a pretty powerful lipid lowering agent. So is naringin. All right, so there's a lot of things that you can do. So keep those things on hand. You don't want to run into a fucking problem and then have to start playing catch up with that stuff. Yeah. It doesn't always work out. It can, but the bloods might be too skewed for you to actually catch up to them in that regard. So be mindful. I'd say run it, have a good time. You're probably gonna get like vascular and lean and big. You'll probably see some mass coming on, which is a beautiful fucking thing when that happens. And go from there. But it's good that you're asking that question because you're conscious of it, which is what you need to be in these situations. Skynet, is it real? Is it normal? Okay, Skynet is real. Is it normal to have some redness on the chest area after TRT? Some people, because they're producing a bunch of red blood cells, their complexion changes to a degree. So that could be what it is. I just look at hemoglobin, hematocrit if I were you. If they're high, do something about it, like naringin or some cardio or both. Again, I dropped my crit from 49 to 42 with that regimen. And it's fine. And I'm not drinking more water. You can only drink so much water, dude. Other than that, the only people, there are some people that just respond that way. Like Liver King is a good example. I couldn't imagine what that guy's blood pressure is, and what his hematological parameters are, among other things, because he is like a fucking crab. He looks like a fucking human crab, Liver King. So he's red all the time, dude. He's just red all the time. So, yeah, that's probably what that is. It may pass, it may not. People just tend to respond that way. If you're brand new to TRT, I'd say it'd probably pass. Yeah. If you're on for a while and it's not passed, then you might want to look into that. Dark Fitness. Yeah, I'm taking 8K IU a day, 268. Yeah, they're 2000 IU per. Yeah, my vitamin D is around 80 something. Magnesium on and off, K2 no, calcium with food, and K2 with food as well. See, I eat a lot of green vegetables, you know, spinach, green leaf lettuce, etc. So I'm getting adequate stuff on that. Thought on going without them bouncing. Yeah, never seen a problem. A lot of what you're going to read on the internet about this kind of shit is just people, I don't know, either postulating or extrapolating too far outward or fear mongering or all that fucking shit. I've taken high doses of vitamin D for 10 years. Never had a fucking problem, bro. All right, Bethany, over the years of experimentation, what have you noticed directly or indirectly has bolstered your immunity and you've noticed less sickness? Hard to say. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I mean, I take a lot of vitamin D, cardio, running, jogging, running, significant. I don't really get, I don't really get sick. Yeah. Actually, come to think of it, running 3,000 nanograms per deciliter total test at my peak. I had maybe test flu, which is likely a breakdown of testosterone into one of its metabolites that has an immunogenic response. For about a day and a half, I was like, okay, flu-like symptoms or whatever. So I don't know, but if it wasn't test flu and it was a mild bug, it was out in a day and a half. I just kind of took it easy. I ran fucking one of the days too. So I don't know. Other than that, yeah, this is the bottom line, man. Don't smoke. If you drink, don't drink a lot. Fucking do cardio. Lift weights. Make sure all the food that you get is like generally real food. If it's real food that you're cooking at home, you kind of can't go wrong. And it's hard to eat over in calories. Yeah, that's really what you want to be doing. Yeah, aside from curveballs that come in and just fuck everything up like COVID, right? Or the what fucks things up for some people. You can be pretty healthy doing all those things. If you're gonna take a lot of supplements, you got to be real targeted about what they're doing. Like I don't know if you're running resveratrol or if you're even running a B complex. Understand what everything does and run things intelligently. Freddie, why does zinc and magnesium kill my libido and erections, also causing me to have numb dick and vibration on the tip? Vibration? Never seen that one. This also happens with 100 milligrams test. Split into 2 injections. Test stipulated, I imagine, but not in a single dose. Yeah. Could be that zinc is lowering serum estradiol. That'd be my first guess, bro. And for you don't need to, lower estrogen. Yeah. The one thing about estradiol, so I've let my estradiol go up. It's actually high now. I'm sure I've got to run it. What the fuck would it be at 3,000 nanograms per deciliter peak, right? It's probably 60. I don't aromatize a ton, but 60, something like that. I've got to look at it to determine whether or not I've got to, proceed forward to manage it, moving forward. But zinc will lower the estrogen in the serum. No question. Zinc lowers estrogen in the serum. It does. Oh, so I was getting around to saying at presumably elevated estradiol, my libido is very high. My libido is very fucking high, right? It passes a certain threshold, starts fucking with erections. But again, fast acting esters, trough, you don't stay at the elevated number. So I've been fine so far. But just might be the case that the zinc is lowering the estradiol in the serum, which it does. It will. 25 to 50 milligrams zinc picolinate. It's going to lower your estrogen, man. In the acute period, if you go run it that day, you're running 50 milligrams a day of zinc, you get an estradiol reading before you start taking it, and then you run it for 4 or 5 days. Run your estradiol at 4 p.m., after the previous day's zinc and then the morning zinc of 25 milligrams. Guarantee it'll be lower. Look, I know some of my clients that even if they take 0.03 milligrams of anastrozole, so that's like a microdose, right? But some people respond to that shit so favorably or strong that it's not really a microdose for them. And they lose libido for 4 days. And they have ED. ED from anastrozole. Okay? What the fuck is that? It's a silencing of aromatase in the brain. That's what I think it is. Yeah. Doesn't mean estradiol doesn't need to be lowered, though. It's just that you shouldn't lower it via inhibiting aromatase systemically. Yeah. Because again, it's non-selective. It's inhibiting, estrogen tissue every fucking where. And conversion of androgens to estradiol everywhere. Aromatase and conversion of testosterone into estradiol in the brain is pretty paramount for libido. Yeah, pretty fucking paramount. So I have guys that take the microest dose of an AI and they lose their libido for 4 days straight. And they have ED for 4 fucking days straight that not even high dose Cialis can touch. So again, over the years, like I've become more generous on estradiol because I realize, look, it still needs to be lower for a lot of people. And there's other ways to go about doing that. I guess specifically related to AIs. You know, I can tolerate them, but at very low doses. Some people just can't take any of it. Yeah, so it's probably lowering the estradiol too much for you. And you may not need that. What is your dose? Maybe scale it back. If not, remove it completely. Give it, 4 to 6 weeks and see where you end up faring. All right, Nico, what's the carrier oil of your testosterone propionate? Yeah, grapeseed for the one that comes from Defy and Empower, and then MCT that I have a bunch of prop that I got a year and a half ago, which is UGL. A good UGL though. So yeah, a very good quality fucking UGL. Yeah, grapeseed and MCT. I can't really tell a difference in the PIP in either of them. They both fucking hurt. So that's that's propionate. That's just propionate. That hurts. That stuff hurts to an extent, brother. All right. Is that a cat picture, bro, on your thing? I love that. It looks... Yeah, that's a cat. I love that. Okay, you've mentioned that your client experienced side effects with creatine. Yes. Is that something to worry about for somebody who takes it daily? No. Yeah, I mean, again, this is people with sexual dysfunction that are super sensitive to the intervention with various compounds that might be neuroactive or like change hormones in some capacity. Like I've got clients as an example that, might be on TRT and having like a little bit of prostate swelling, but the moment they take a fucking microdose of saw palmetto, libido's gone for 5 days. 5 fucking days, and then it slowly starts creeping back in. So, generally people do not get sexual dysfunction from creatine. Yeah. You got 2 different mechanisms. Well, yeah, one mechanism really, and it's agonism of 5-HT1A type serotonin receptor, which is going to shut down dopamine to a degree, dopamine projection throughout the brain to a degree, and may even be prolactogenic. Yeah, which is going to silence libido for a good degree of people. So, if you're taking it daily and your sexual function's fine, I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, wouldn't worry about it. All right, Bevney's got an interview coming up and wants to get control of the anxiety for this situation. What would you use? Well, and generally speaking, like, so this is a job interview, I assume. So much of that is like, who are you and how confident about yourself are you, right? Like with all I know and all I've done business wise, if I were to just one day say, fuck business, and I'm going to go work in corporate so that I don't have to worry about all the things I have to worry about running companies, and go shoot for 70, 80, 100K a year position somewhere, like some senior position, in a big company. Everything I've learned about marketing, business, growth, sales, like the structure of how companies work, all the nuances, administrative stuff, customer service, I'd be the most confident motherfucker there. I'd be like, you guys need me. You're hiring for this. This is the bottom line with hiring. Because I've hired people too, like in businesses, previous companies. They're looking for people. They want you. Okay. They fucking need you. They need you. They want nothing more. They want nothing more than for you to hit it out of the park when you get in there for the interview. They want nothing more than that. Okay. They want you to be such a killer that they don't have to question whether or not you're going to do a good job or whether you're capable of learning if you're not quite up to speed on whatever it is you're going to end up doing, or you don't have enough skills on the resume or whatever. Sometimes people hire you because you're a fucking killer. So they want you to be that way. Are you confident in what you know regarding the job? Yeah. And if not, spend 48 hours and read, with some sleep in between. Read. Know everything by fucking heart, what you think they'll ask you, everything about the industry. That's what I would do. I'd go in there like a fucking gangster, knowing everything, right? Everything I think they're going to ask me, everything about the industry. I'd just learn all kinds of shit about their company history, the founder, his history, whatever product or service they offer. I'd be reading about it. Then you're going confident because you know, right? If you don't have a long history though, in your resume or whatever, if you don't know a lot or if you don't have a lot of skill base, it's easy to be not confident. So that's kind of where anxiety could come about. It's too late now, but I don't know what your test levels are. Higher your test levels are, the more confident you're going to be generally in life. Other than that, I mean, you'd want to experiment prior to going so that you know the dose that's right, but low dose picamillin, I mean, 50 to 150 milligrams, that'll kind of chill you out via enhancing GABAergic inhibition of excitatory neurotransmitters, which would be useful. About how fast do I complete the 3-mile run? It might be, God, I don't know, 25 minutes. It's probably 25 minutes or so. Yeah. That'd be like an 8-minute pace per mile, something like that. Yeah. I mean, I can run 2 miles at like a 7:30 pace per mile, but that's about all. Then I'm like, okay, I'm done after that. You know, I want to get the extra, you know, steady state cardio in. And the only way I could do that is by running like an 8-minute pace per mile, you know, 8-10 pace per mile. Yeah. That's about how long it takes. Good question though, brother. Is 1,000 milligrams of HCG too much? By the way, how's my audio, guys? If someone could just comment on that. I made a couple changes and want to make sure that it doesn't sound bad and that it's adequately picking me up. Is 1,000 milligrams of HCG too much? I want to try that before I shift fully to TRT protocol. No, if you're running HCG monotherapy, I mean, you should be running 2,000 IU a week. Yeah. Not milligrams. International units. Yeah. Yeah. I do not think that's that much for HCG monotherapy. I think that's like, you know, probably underdosing for HCG monotherapy. Ooh, I'm giving you guys a fucking striptease here. Yeah. So, yeah, you might want to bump those up. Those are rookie numbers. I want to bump those up, man. Matthew McConaughey and DiCaprio and Wolf of Wall Street. What a fucking scene that was. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what kind of results you're getting. Look, you can get pretty good results. I think Vigorous Steve, I don't know what Vigorous Steve was on ultimately of HCG. I think a lot per week. Would have been 2,000 IU? Was it? Yeah. But I think he ended up at 800 or so, 850 nanograms per deciliter total test, which is reasonable. Reasonable. You know, you cross over 12, 1,300, things are much better. Things are much better, brother. Much better. Cross over to 3279, which is where I was at my peak in cream and prop. You're an animal. All right, so yeah, but you know, see how you fare on 2,000. Run labs to see where total testosterone is. Free testosterone estradiol. If you feel good and those numbers look reasonably good, keep doing it. Keep doing it. You know, there isn't a reason to get on TRT if you're running HCG and doing fine. Yeah, unless anabolism, you know, more anabolism is your goal. And also just trying to see like where you can push it. TRT, like for biohackers, it's the coolest thing ever. Yeah, because you can run different esters. You could run bolus versus microinjections. You get to see where the bloods go. You get to see how you feel. You get to see how that changes your performance. You get to see how that changes dick function. It's so fucking cool. So, you know, and also you're going to be a lot more anabolic on testosterone versus HCG monotherapy. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ben Bevne is asking if I track sleep. No. So if you notice anything that improves deep sleep, cheers for expertise. Thank you, brother. Honestly, I'm lucky. I'm just a lucky bastard when it comes to sleep, I guess. I mean, some of that is obviously influenced by what I do. Like, I mean, predominantly I don't drink. Like, when's the last time I even fucking had a drink? I don't really remember, right? So, like with drinking as an example, you just get rebound GABAergic necessity. You're just in withdrawal. The GABA A receptors are in fucking withdrawal because booze is liquid benzos. So the fact that I don't drink, I sleep like a baby. I'm just consistently using my brain throughout the day. I have great energy via everything I do in my protocol, but then I'm using my brain throughout the day, all day. So yeah, by 10 o'clock, I am ready to turn on some Alex Jones or turn on some John Moyer, who's like a meditation guy, just like this long 8-hour fucking talking about whatever topic. You know, or turn on my favorite Warzone streamer, and yeah, I'll think about like the most prominent problem in my life as I'm going to bed to try to continue facilitating solving it in my head. And then I'm out. So I have really good sleep. And I don't track it, you know, otherwise. Yeah. Improving deep sleep. I mean, if you add some cardiovascular exercise, that'll improve your sleep. Usually, you know, if you're on hormones, make sure your ratios are good. You know, estradiol isn't sky high or testis and super sky high if you can't tolerate it. Again, now just making the change of just a couple things. I mean, running, Nuringen may have helped, right? via, you know, some lipid modifying stuff. Like I can tolerate 3,000 nanograms per deciliter. Again, I'm not staying there, but that's my peak, man. Feel great. Otherwise, maybe some glycine and medium dose ashwagandha would be pretty helpful for you. Be in shape is on 300 milligrams of cypionate, 150 milligrams twice a week. I feel like Dookie Pokey. Even with supplementing with test prop, maybe at SHBG was knocked down. Any thoughts? Explain how you feel, you know, in a follow-up comment, because I don't really know what you mean there. I mean, 300 of cypionate. Here's the thing. Again, if I got this high, okay, on cypionate, if I was wrong, and to reach that, I'd probably have to do a bolus of 250 at once, maybe 300 at once. I would feel very fucking bad. I would just feel very fucking bad. Yeah. I mean, it's because to get there on cypionate, it's a slow buildup. You might peak at day 2.5, day 3 of a bolus of 300 milligrams, you know, and then you might be peaking 2,500, 3,000. All depends on how you respond to cypionates. But in that case, you sort of have elevated testosterone slowly, but the whole time. Right? And so all these hematological things that can go wrong, obviously the conversion to estradiol, you know, the conversion to dihydrotestosterone, blood pressure spiking. These things are more likely to happen on a long ester because it's consistently happening as you go up. You get what I'm saying? Whereas prop, you don't really do this with prop. You do this with prop. That's basically what you do with short-acting modalities of testosterone. You just fucking shoot right up. So I have no evidence to prove this, but I think you're sort of skirting or you're dodging some of the, you know, some of those things that we just discussed that may happen because you're peaking very fucking quickly, and then you're troughing after you peak. You know, so if I dose that much cypionate, I'd feel fucking terrible. Yeah. I mean, I can dose 210, 250 or whatever, and I'd split it up basically into 2 injections a week, and I'd feel relatively okay. Ultimately, my best cypionate protocol was 70, 80 milligrams twice weekly. Yeah. It just felt relatively good. Sexual function was fucking really good. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's why I don't like long esters. I can run 100 milligrams of prop every 3rd day and feel like a fucking god. And at, you know, again, I'm peaking around 3,000, you know, I feel amazing. I could never really peak at 3,000. I don't think, unless I really worked on my response to cypionate with long ester. So, you know, again, put down in the comment section how you actually feel, and then maybe I can help you. Options for opinion on fasting, brain inflammation or brain fog. Yeah, helps. Sure, always helps. Helps with everything. Helps with long COVID. You know, I had that, and fasting always helped. But also clients with that, and, you know, fasting helps, but it's not a solution. It's not a solution. I don't even understand really, you know, I don't know, maybe like fasting is eliminating some of the leftover remnants of the S1 glycoprotein, the spike effectively. And that's lessening the burden on, you know, the vascular endothelial damage that, you know, is taking place, you know, and microclots that might be forming. Hard to say. But yeah, I mean, fasting is usually useful for that. Just don't take it too far, you know? Fasting is good to a degree, right? You make it a lifestyle, well, you're going to be lightheaded and fucked up and weak and all that kind of shit, you know? People taking the paleo, the old school hardcore extreme paleo stuff very far. Yeah, women lose their periods, no carbs, like just, you got to be careful. All right, Jump Rope Monk. Nice name, brother. Not to bring politics into this live chat, but I just wanted to do an episode. Of top 10 to 15 compounds to include a nootropic regimen to deter or prevent Alzheimer's. It's funny that you did that. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's just be honest about Joe Biden right now. Yeah, he's not in a good place, bro. Not in a good fucking place. Let's just be honest. You know, I watched his debate with Trump just 4 years ago when, you know, Biden got elected somehow. And he was a lot more cognitively adept then. You know, now it's a train wreck, you know. Kind of feel sorry for him, honestly, you know. I don't want to be a dick, like, feel sorry for him, dude. He's not a good place, man. All right, but anyway, yeah. Uridine monophosphate, citicoline, good old paracetam alpha GPC, paracetam alpha GPC. But otherwise, look into a compound called Suvenaid, Suvenaid. It's a combination of a bunch of different chemicals: uridine, choline, magnesium, B vitamins, docosahexaenoic acid, and some other things. That's studied in Australia for alleviating symptoms of Alzheimer's. Yeah, so those are the kind of things you want to look at. There's a lot of other stuff, but it'd take too long to get into. My question earlier was inspired when watching the state of the American president deteriorate in front of the world. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you know, some people, I think, yeah, based on genetics and whatever, as they get to 75, 76, deteriorate cognitively more than others, right? Trump looks like a young man, you know, cognitively. Dude's like a fucking young man, fully there. You can tell that, you know, sometimes if you just run too many trains of thought in a conversation, you go on tangents. You forget the original thing that you were talking about. You have to re-ask the person, well, what were we talking about? That happens to Biden, like, what's the word? Like alarmingly more than it does anyone you would see talk. Like if you were communicating with that person in real life, you'd be like, all right, this person has a problem, you know? This person has a problem. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Democrats too. Like they must, you know, like most of the press organizations, you can't spin how bad he is. So they're, you know, they're giving in and they're recognizing, you know, Biden's got a problem. So it must be really difficult for them because their candidate is fucked and everybody knows it, you know? So who knows? I don't know what they're going to try to do. Who are they going to bring in? You know, Kamala. I mean, come on. All right. Will, also 500 milligrams HCG has led to 950 nanograms per deciliter of test. Okay. Is 950 enough or should I be increasing? 500 milligrams of HCG a week has led to that much testosterone? Should I be increasing HCG to get 1,000 plus? Depends on how you feel. Look, if you're that positive a responder to HCG, 950? Yeah. And you feel good and libido and erections are good? Stay there, brother. And you're probably more anabolic. You're probably able to put some more muscle mass on. Then if I were you, I'd stay there, bro. I mean, not if I were you. If I were you, I'd go to 1,500. But you know, if you want to stay there, bro. It's really about, like, you know, the two major things, like obviously well-being and stuff, but the two major things with TRT that you want to be getting and you know, that drive whether or not you want to raise your dose is sexual function and anabolism, you know, besides energy. So if all those things are good, stay there. Have you doubled your dose here? Yeah. I mean, I think you would push the testosterone to probably 1,300 based on the fact that you're responding this way, maybe 1,100. Don't know. Estrogen will come up too, so be careful, brother. All right, Andrew, any idea how to increase T3, T4? You can increase the conversion of T4 to T3 via selenium. Yep, you can do that. 200 to 400 on the very high end micrograms per day, and you'll increase that conversion. Yep, definitely. Clem Al. All right, how important is HCG on TRT? If libido sensation is good because HCG raises estrogen, right? And with HCG, I don't need Remicin. I imagine you're taking DHEA and pregnenolone because, or you've not been on TRT long enough to have sensation loss or sensation like atrophy, you know? So maybe that's it. Like people can supplement with DHEA, or maybe like a once a week dose of pregnenolone. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got a gas person here that I need to switch my gas on. Stick with me. All right, boys. Baction, otherwise known as back in action. All right, so yeah, I mean, most guys that take DHEA with their TRT protocol have better sensation. So it might be the case that, you know, if you're taking that, then you don't, you know, you're fine. Also, if you're pretty new to TRT, the sensation atrophy happens over time. So it might take some time for you to do that. But look, I know that HCG takes estradiol over the range. It does. Or it takes it maybe above your range. And then you might need some time to get used to that estrogen thereafter, like for receptors to kind of regulate in response to that, or genetic expression to kind of down regulate in response to all that estradiol. So, you know, I guess this is as good as mine, brother. But I understand where where you may need to not have HCG, because it fucking takes the estrogen over range. You know, that's a real tricky situation. It's a godsend for some guys for libido, testicular function, sensation, and then it kind of wrecks the protocol or messes with it for other people via estrogen. If libido and sensation is good, stay where you're at. If it ever changes, maybe bring in DHEA and a little bit of pregnenolone, or bring in HCG and DHEA and pregnenolone, and things will probably be a lot better. Raheem, looking really good, man. Thank you, brother. No, it's off topic, but any other anecdotes about 9-MBC you can share. Watch all your videos many times. Yeah, again, I feel more interested in life the moment I dose 9-MBC that day, because likely that's not dopamine, that's more monoamine oxidase inhibition that is happening. So you've got elevated levels of catecholamines and maybe acetylcholine, just kind of excitatory neurotransmitters. So that feels really good. Libido, the mental part of libido is always enhanced, you know, for me when I dose 9-MBC. That's obviously via the dopaminergic action. I can't really see it being other neurotransmitters, you know. Probably chronic. I don't think elevated acetylcholine, other than the initial arousal cascade, you know, has any other part of like libido and whatever. So dopamine definitely helps that. I don't know. It's also enhancing some neurotrophic factors too, like cerebral lysin. So it's like inducing some restoration of like neuronal function, in addition to regenerating dopamine neurons. Yeah, I mean, I'm always motivated. A lot of that is the dopamine I synthesize from, you know, having high testosterone, but, you know, an estrogen in the right place for me. But 9-MBC helps. 9-MBC fucking helps, man. I'm very close to running another cycle of it. I love it. I've gotten side effects, mostly impulsivity when the dose was too high, and jaw clenching one time, which is, you know, indicative of too high dopamine. But other than that, I've not gotten, you know, any of the skin side effects where you're responsive to sun like exponentially more than usual. You get sunburn from just being in the sun for a little bit. That happens to a very small percentage of people. Here's Nick Flynn's immunity stack. Yeah, bromelain and quercetin, fucking epic, and NAC as well. Fantastic Licks took 900 milligrams SGW for a month. Gym progress was great. After stopping for 2 weeks, my pumps got worse. It may have some downstream effect on testosterone. Yeah, I think I remember reading a paper on that years back. Twerk for work. Hey, Ryan, do I have to be concerned about Kisspeptin? I'm seeing conflicted stories about you. I'm seeing it raises prolactin. I kind of know already I have prolactin, so do I lower it first? I mean, have cabergoline on hand for that. Yeah. Kisspeptin through a, what is the mechanism? I don't think it's the lactotropes, which is really, you know, I thought that was the only mechanism by which prolactin can be elevated, but there's other mechanisms for that. Yeah, I looked into it and it has the ability to raise prolactin in some people. Yeah, so does testosterone though. So does HCG. That's in the literature too. So yeah, I think that you need to, everything that you know, that I talk about that may be useful, I'm highlighting the benefits and giving you the caveats as well, because they're all useful in certain situations for certain people, especially people that over aromatize or have side effects from HCG. Kisspeptin though also like induces like a libido response and an erectile response acutely. It's just fucking very powerful and undeniable. So it's largely pretty good, but for somebody that doesn't have a prolactinoma, I think you'd be fine, you know, with some P5P around, you know, if you need to lower prolactin, if it got up, but definitely run it before you take it for sure. Do I take anything before the run to improve endurance? Nope. I just get a Blue Goodness smoothie, which is a bunch of fruits, basically. It's just like every fruit you can think of in a smoothie. Yeah. So I'm attempting to get some, to stop the burden of glycogen loss, to an extent by getting carbs in there. My breakfast is not particularly carb heavy, other than that, no, not a whole lot. I'm not fasted when I do it, but I haven't just eaten. Yeah. But thankfully, again, 8-minute pace per mile, 3 miles. It's not like I'm pushing very hard. Dark Fitness fish oil can drop your blood pressure too much. I take 4 grams. Well, it can, yeah, but it in these kind of situations, it's all, you've got to look at the whole, like an MD. If you sat down with an MD and asked that question, an advanced one, like say you went to the ER for low blood pressure and you said you took fish oil, they would look at the whole clinical picture, are you dizzy? Did you lose consciousness? How did you lose consciousness? Did it all sort of fade kind of slowly, or did it happen instantly? You know what I mean? What is your blood pressure historically? Do you have readings for that? Kind of thing. So I don't know. You got to think about this in context of the whole picture. If you run 10 milligrams tadalafil a day, because that's the only dose that works for dick function, because your protocol's not dialed in on TRT or your hormones aren't dialed in general, in addition to not getting enough sodium in your diet because you just haven't paid attention to it, or you eat real whole food, which by the way, it's not really sodium dense, so you can kind of not get as much sodium as you need by just eating healthfully, and then you take 4 grams of fish oil, then yeah, I guess there's a possibility for you to drop your BP too low. Generally speaking, I don't think 4 grams of fish oil is that problematic, or problematic at all. Might thin your blood a bit, which is usually a good thing. Excuse me. Twerk for work. Cordyceps improves general endurance, but get from a good brand like Hyper and Herbs. Is that a good brand, or are you promoting them? Dark Fitness. There was a time where I was taking 6 to 10 grams of fish oil. And how did you feel, brother? Yeah. Big Zach Full. How do you get product from Empower Pharmacy? Do you have to go through Defy to get product from Empower? No, you don't. You could have your doc prescribe and send the script of whatever you're wanting to get to Empower. You just use that pharmacy. Like I've had it before I got with Defy. I had an MD, like one of my GPs that I've seen over the years, who's telemedicine. He's fucking cool. He's 65 with 1,800 nanograms per deciliter total testosterone. By the way, he's on pellets, and his test is super fucking high, and he feels great. But that guy, I've had him prescribe me compounded anastrozole, and I just had him send the script to Empower. That's it. Because they ask you, what's your pharmacy? Is it, and usually people are like, oh, it's my local Walgreens or something. Just tell them your pharmacy, the script you want them to send to is Empower Pharmacy in whatever, Texas. Yeah. And they'll send whatever you want there. It's just about getting a doc to prescribe what you want that may be compounded or something. So my guy is cool because he's on TRT and he's at 1,800 and he's 65 at 1,800. I just want to emphasize that because I think that's so cool. Yeah. Healthy as a horse, banging his wife every day and shit. It's fucking great. We talk about that kind of shit, man. But yeah, he just sent the script to Empower. So you don't have to be okay, good. Thank you for that. Cool. All right. Don't know a whole lot about, injectable L-carnosine. Oh, okay. They're good for cardio. Brother. I think I'm behind here. Clemal's only taking testosterone, cypionate, and NSAID. Awesome. All right. Ride the lightning. Been on TRT for 6 years. I had to stop HEG for a long time. Now I'm looking into DHEA and pregnenolone at 44. Yeah, run them. Look, I have seen DHEA bring libido back when nothing else could, including HEG. There's people who have done labs on this where they're like their DHEA and their pregnenolone, but also their downstream metabolites or their downstream other hormones that they convert into were still low on HCG. The idea that you can take HCG and backfill all the hormones is misguided. It's misguided. Yeah. Run your labs so that you can prove or disprove that. For some people, you know, the DHEA sulfate and the pregnenolone, you know, and the hormones that they turn on, cortisol, et cetera, will be markedly or slightly elevated or elevated enough in a normal range. For some people, not. You know, that difference between HCG and not HCG is not going to be very substantial regarding these hormones. So, yeah, you take the DHEA, take the pregnenolone. You know, find the doses that agree with you, that don't cause problems. You know, DHEA can cause a little more aromatization, so be careful, but it might be useful for you. Can also cause more 5-alpha reduction to DHT. Okay, so again, approach it wisely. If you stopped HCG and things were fine, yeah, still bring in the DHEA and pregnenolone, maybe you can ride off into the sunset without the HCG. Yeah. All right, Brian Elliott. My basic doctor over 3 years can't get my test to a proper level. 100 milligrams test prop weekly. Test level's 389. E2 level's 3. What you're testing on the trough, I imagine. That's the problem. So you got to test on the peak. 100 milligrams of prop should peak you pretty high, but the problem with this is it's once a week. You know, so you're going to then trough down to 389 on that dose, no question. I don't know why estrogen is 3. Again, prop is less estrogenic in my experience. Still, estrogen's going to go up, but it doesn't stay there. Yeah, I mean, listen, the protocol for prop in the literature is 50 milligrams every 3 days or so, 3 times a week. 50 milligrams 3 times a week. So you want to at least be running that. And I think at least be running that. 50 milligrams 3 times a week. Yeah, that's, you know, intramuscular injection. That's what you want to do with prop. I'm not opposed to daily injections because I've run those too with prop, but I don't like them. I don't like daily anything. I really don't. I don't think your body, I don't think people, I know for sure people don't respond favorably always to daily injections. Yeah, no. What you think you're doing with daily injections, you're not doing. You're actually doing somewhat of the opposite. But this here, you need to run 50 to 60 milligrams 3 times a week with prop. Yeah. I'm running 100 milligrams every 3rd day, just to give you an example. And I'm, you know, peaking at like 3,000, troughing at 900. That's reasonable. You want to trough still in a reasonable therapeutic range, which is above 800 nanograms per deciliter. That's what I think about that. Google account. Enjoyed the conversation with Ryan Roots. Awesome, brother. Appreciate the fact that you watched it. All right, E2 levels of 60. Never feel well, no energy. Okay, so, 60? Wait, how is this the case? Because you were... Are E2 levels not at 60? I don't understand this at all. So 100 milligrams prop should peak you pretty high, maybe super physiologic for, 24 hours, and you're going to start dropping back down. This 389 trough looks reasonable for 100 milligram test prop weekly. That's too low of a dose, by the way. You don't want to dose 100 milligrams of test prop a week. That's too low because it's out of the system in 4 days. It's gone. So of course you're hypogonadal or close to it at the end there. But if you're saying that you're, where are you now? Oh, I lost you. Your E2 is 60? I thought you just said it was 3. Yeah, I think you need to be clear. Kamar, Ryan, looking lean and more muscular. However, I can see some receding hairline. Yeah, it's this area here, like that area. Part of this is, I had a barber that I will not go to anymore that I told shape this area up, and he like cut all of this out. So part of this is barber induced. Now I'm having to fucking grow it back, which is a pain in the ass. But for sure, Proviron and cream. Yeah, so I started shedding like a fucking madman. Thankfully, I have good thick hair and it grows back and whatever, microneedling, all that stuff. But yeah, that's why I had to back off. I had a great time. 26 days of Proviron at 25 milligrams a day. About 2 months straight of cream, test cream, 200 milligrams per milliliter. I had a great fucking time. I felt amazing, Stoic, masculine, great, lean, jawline. My jawline changed on high DHT. Fucking placebo. No. My jawline changed. It was awesome. But hair loss, bro. That's the thing. If I ever get to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I don't care, I'll just get a crew cut. Well, then I'm definitely going back to Proviron and shit. So, there's that, brother. Constantly craving salt. Any ideas? You probably need more salts. Yeah, there are syndromes associated with that. I mean, Addison's disease, which is you know, an adrenal hormone insufficiency ultimately, which would give you salt cravings. Yeah, I'd look into your adrenal function for sure, as well as potentially aldosterone. Yeah, if serum aldosterone is low, you're gonna urinate more salt out than you should, in which case you're gonna crave salt. Dar Fitness, dear gas man, packed up and drove to Aspen. Sorry about the dollar. The Jim Carrey reference. Brother, what you gonna do? Horse like a healthy brother. All right, how long can you run tests without HCG? Well, it depends. It depends on the person. I mean, I think that people, they need intervention of HCG or DHEA and pregnenolone sooner than others because they've got testicular atrophy or they've got sensation loss. So, I mean, there isn't a defined time period. Yeah, there isn't a defined, you know, duration. Yeah, I was able to not run HCG successfully for about 6 months, I want to say, maybe a little more. But I also always ran DHEA. But at that point, I needed a little bit of the testicular volume enhancement, which HCG is really the only compound capable of doing that. Aside from obviously, you know, recombinant FSH or Clomid or clomiphene. I mean, those things will do that too, but they're less safe and kind of risky. All right, total testosterone at 300. No, this will not be hard to convince a doctor. In my country, there's no TRT clinic. What country? That sucks. I mean, that sucks. So you have to go to a doc. I don't think that will be very hard, but you have to enforce that you've got symptoms associated with low testosterone. You just be clear that you've got libido and erectile quality issues and you can't recover from the gym. Yeah. Be clear about that to doc. And at that point, you're more likely to have them prescribe it. I'm sorry that you've got that problem because, again, life-changing testosterone therapy is not available for everybody. And that's just a tragedy. It's honestly a tragedy because you're just going to live a subpar life. Now, you can do a lot of things on the diet side, etc., you know, to try to raise tests. And if you can get HCG, which you won't need a script for, you can source HCG, you know, from UGLs, and you got to find the right one. Go on Reddit, talk to people, figure out where you can get it. But you can at least do that. But with those numbers, you should be prescribed tests, especially if you're having significant symptoms. Ride the lightning. I do have DHT problems, losing hair, and run finasteride. Hopefully do labs for DHT and pregnenolone. Yeah, well, watch your DHT on finasteride. Yeah. If you, I mean, you can end up with sexual dysfunction that will last 6 years and make you want to kill yourself. So I've seen it all too often, dude. People just willy-nilly, finasteride, willy-nilly. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. From what I've seen, it's fucking stupid. Be careful. I don't know what MIF1 is, but if it's a positive allosteric modulator of the D2 receptors, I think that's only a positive thing, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I think that's pretty epic. Favorite current peptides? Yeah, I trialed gonadorelin, didn't really like it. I have ipamorelin, which I will run. I liked my run of TB500. I forget what was I running. I forget what I was dosing it. Yeah, I like TB500 though. I felt like I had an injury, kind of feel like it was getting better, which is interesting. Acutely, it gave me some erectile quality benefits, and there is some like vascular optimization that happens with TB500. So that's probably why. Yeah, I'd say TB500 is probably the most prominent. I love PT141. Love it, absolutely love it. I wish it didn't. I wish that the effect didn't kind of just taper off the more you dose it. The more you do, you just got to get immune to it basically over time. Yeah, and that's because your brain won't release continuous hypothalamic dopamine. There are stops in place, feedback mechanisms homeostatically that prevent that from continuously happening. So if I could run PT141 kind of just like, I don't know, every third day or something, I would. I just get immune to it and it doesn't affect me the same way. Other peptides that I'm running? No, I'm not running any other peptides at the moment. Wow. And HCG is a peptide basically. Yeah. HCG is a testosterone secretagogue. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, HCG is a fucking test secretagogue. So Pretty interesting. Michael's on an SSRI with a dopamine and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor paired with 300 milligrams Testosterone a week. Godlike stack. Interesting. Well, good thing you've got the DRI in there. Because that SSRI usually fucks with sexual function and dick function. But hey, everybody's different. Everybody's different, brother. Don't know what edesterone is. Ecdysterone? Estesterone? Yeah, don't know what that is. Yeah, if there's hype on it, that's an interesting one. You know, there's usually hype on new compounds. Somebody will be like, oh, I took it and like I felt one way or the other. They post a significantly like exaggerated Reddit thread on it, you know, for upvotes or whatever. And then people are like, oh, let me try that. And then another guy repeats that same shit. And it's like, you know, whatever. Never heard of it though. Never heard of it, brother. All right, let's talk about specials. So Cortex Stack is buy one, get one free. Still, we're blowing out the rest of the inventory with that. So yeah, that's the code right there. That's a powerful stack, guys. If you haven't tried it, now would probably be an epic time to try it. Because it's the best deal you could ever imagine for this nootropic stack. I built it myself. Once you start taking it, you're gonna be like, I don't want to run out of it. Like you want Cortex to be around. Just have a look at the bottle, right? Nice, clear, white capsules. Very fucking beautiful. The effect matches the design of the product. You're going to realize you want it around pretty consistently. All right, so buy one, get one free right now, livecortex.com. Torque Stack is 35% off. Right now, 3 slots open for coaching, one-on-one coaching, hands-on, you know, with me. Yeah, there's 3 slots open. 3 month, 6 month, 1 year. There's also a 1 month option too. But usually the work we have to do requires more time. That 1 month is there kind of as a primer. Natural supplements to increase DHT. Am I blanking on this for a reason? Why am I blanking on this? Well, I mean, DHEA. Yeah, DHEA would likely increase DHT, but I mean, I don't know the order or the selectivity that DHT or DHEA kind of, you know, exerts or decides on what to convert, whether to dihydrotestosterone or to estradiol or to testosterone, you know. It may be based on what you need. You know, like I've seen some literature that like you get more conversion to DHT via these steroid dehydrogenase enzymes, 3 beta and 17 beta. When there's a shortage of DHT, or when DHT has been superficially cut off from the system, the supply has been cut off, you've got upregulation of other enzymes that can convert androgens, specifically DHEA, into DHT. So yeah, I think DHEA would probably be one of your best bets for that. I mean, there's not many natural supplements that increase DHT, to be honest with you, that I know of anyway. Yeah. Tanner Wolf. 200 milligrams of test, an HCG 1000 IU, I imagine you mean, a day, trying to get my wife pregnant. Any worries about downregulation from taking that much HCG? Now, I don't know, because look, there are tier T doctors that, you know, as well as like titans in the industry, like Abraham Morgenthaler, who have talked about this and aren't reporting, at least in their client base and the anecdotals, really, because that's all I guess the only way you can really report that, a lack of response to HCG in that regard. I've seen papers, though, on the reduction of the receptors in the testicles that HCG binds to. I've seen papers on this, that, you know, chronic high dose HCG reduces the amount of LH-FSH receptors, you know, basically the HCG receptors in the testicles, to put it simply, which is literally downregulation. Okay. I believe this was in a rat, might have been in a human. I can't remember off the top of my head. So, I mean, it's likely to happen. I mean, in the literature, downregulation is there. Yeah. It's in the medical journals. So, whether or not that happens, whether or not you need a very consistent frequency in order for that to happen, which is likely, is up in the air. So if you're dosing 1,000 every day, you know, that's more likely to induce downregulation of the LH-FSH receptors. Yeah, or reduction in them. It's not clear the extent to which that, you know, has a negative effect, because is it permanent, or it's not permanent, likely. Receptors are in a constant flux of downregulating, upregulating, being built. etc. Yeah, whether that reduces the receptor quantity to a degree which is problematic is unknown. Yeah, unknown. I can tell you that you probably need less than that to get your wife pregnant. just a tip, brother. Other questions? Those of you that just jumped in, if you got questions, post them. Let's get the discussion going. Brother. All right, I think I missed this question. If someone can't get TRT in their country, they can get DHEA, pregnenolone, Fedosia, Tonga, and Turkestone legally. Yeah, right. All this stuff, exactly. Yeah, NHCG, you know, NHCG. Not legally per se. You just get it from a UGL and have it shipped to you. People are doing that, you know, pretty consistently. So 2000 every other day of HCG is how you've done it. Yeah, I mean, again, the literature shows that you can have a reduction in the receptors that HCG binds to from, you know, chronic HCG dosing. So maybe, you know, maybe, but I think it's just situationally dependent or person dependent. Brother. Don't know if I'm going to run today. I'd like to because I'm an animal. But I've been running every day. Yesterday, 2-3 mile walk on a date with this fucking beautiful woman downtown in Pittsburgh. Like stunningly fucking pretty girl. Yeah, she's also pretty cool. So that's good. And so I don't know. I don't know what the rest of the day has in store. Gotta think, devise a plan, you know, find something to do. Brother. All right. Supplementing DHEA without TRT. Have some of my cap. Have you tried it out? Yeah, back in the day, 2 cents is like it. I don't think it did a whole lot, but it's hard for me to compare the effects of DHEA administered, you know, supplementally compared to TRT because it's just like night and day difference, right? So, however, I mean, look, there are people that have had pretty substantial results. The anecdotals are all over the web on just DHEA, like without TRT. So, yeah, your mileage is going to vary. If I were you, I would try it, give it a run, you know, and kind of just see how you fare, see how you end up feeling. It's going to change the hormone numbers for sure. Whether or not it raises estradiol or converts more to DHT or T and then DHT, it's up in the air. I think there's a lot of mechanisms that, you know, control whether or not, you know, where it's ultimately going to go. Benefits of DHEA with testosterone are increased genital sensation, you know, the fact that the gonads shut down their production of neurosteroids when you're on TRT, but also there's a fucking piece of literature that suggests that it shuts down a degree of the adrenal output of DHEA. Okay, the adrenal output of neurosteroids, you know, the adrenal steroidogenesis. Okay, there's a paper suggesting that the adrenal neurosteroid output is inhibited on TRT. Okay, so it's not just that people like people hear things and they just repeat it. Oh yeah, you're making most of your, you know, neurosteroids from the adrenal gland and, you know, tests the gonads like a very little bit, and so TRT isn't going to do it. Stop repeating bullshit. There's a fucking paper on this that, you know, the adrenal production of these things likely downregulated too, right? So, you know, get either high dose HCG, but run your labs, make sure it's doing something for you, or DHA and maybe a little bit of pregnenolone with your protocol. Yeah, it just changes the game for a lot of people. I've not taken DHA with TRT, so I've always taken DHA with TRT, right? So maybe that's part of why when I switch a protocol, I can dial in quickly. You know, I know which protocols work. It wasn't always like that. If I switch to test SIP, I would know what to do to be dialed in. But libido has always been good on TRT, whereas like for some people it's not. You just got to fuck with everything. Estrogen's problematic and all this. Like libido, always good. I can't think of like time where it wasn't. Micro injecting every day, higher doses of SIP, it wasn't good. Largely, it's been good. DHEA, very critical for libido on TRT. There's some people that, you know, want TRT for 2 years. They've done everything else under the sun. Bloods look fine. Libido's not there. They bring DHEA in. Well, now they're dialed in and libido's back. I want to look into that. Robert says, I need TRT, live in Hawaii. Can't find a clinic or a doctor to work with me, 70 years old. That's a problem. Why? Well, is that because you're 70? Yeah, that's a weird one. Yeah. Because you know, people prescribe tests to 7-year-olds, you know, it's actually fucking very useful. Yeah, it's useful in most contexts considering you're healthy. Yeah, pursue Defy Medical. Yeah, pursue Defy Medical and see if they'll help you. That's what I would shoot for. Do I go jogging with one of my girls? I'm not dating anybody else right now. I'm not dating multiple girls, at least right now. No, the only girl that I run with is my ex-girlfriend, who I saw like some significant time ago, who got me to run with her. Yeah. Other than that, no. Yeah, the girl that I met recently, who's stunningly fucking pretty and cool and very chill. I don't think she likes. Yeah, she doesn't like running. She doesn't like running like I like running. That's okay. I'll just run. I kind of like running by myself anyway. I like being in the zone, and yeah, I like running by myself. But I would run with somebody. All right, can you start doing some videos on Warzone gameplay so can we jump in games with you? Maybe absolutely, bro. Totally, man. Yeah, maybe a live stream of just like playing Warzone. Totally. I've switched from, you know, controller. So this is a Scuff, not Scuff Envision, this is a Scuff Impact. So, you know, like brand new Scuff Impact, very, very powerful, expensive ass controller. Every upgrade you can think of on it, you know, the digital triggers and shit. But I've made the switch in the last 2 years to keyboard and mouse, and I've just been practicing in conjunction with playing controller. And now a controller feels so fucking slow to me. I cannot move the way that I can snap with a mouse, that I don't even really use it. I'm just mostly using keyboard and mouse, I mean, 99% of the time. Every now and then I'll just be getting roasted. I'm like, all right, you know, let me switch up you know, skill-based matchmaking and let me get in a controller lobby after I've been on keyboard and mouse for a while. It's usually the fucking bot lobbies for a while, which is good, a couple games. But then I end up just hating it. Then I get back with sweats and I'm not as good with a controller anymore. So I'm strictly keyboard and mouse with Warzone. So yeah, maybe, bro. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm gonna play probably a little bit later today. So let me just put on the screen in case you want to look for me to add me as a friend. My my gamer tag or my screen name thing is Confidant. It's just Confidant. So if you can find me, bro, add me. You know, if I see a friend request today, like I'll accept you. We can run a game together, man. I don't know what email you're referring to. Nootropic Savvy. So maybe resend it. All the beat for you, best brother. Black Maca. I think it's supposed to modulate hormones at some capacity, but I don't think it's going to be super effective. Thoughts on any other nootropic longevity YouTube channels? What are your thoughts on other nootropic longevity YouTube channels? Nootropic Savvy. Do you have a nootropic longevity YouTube channel? Looks like it. Longevity YouTube channels. I don't think there are. Well, maybe I just don't know about them. I know there's there's a guy called the Nootropic Reviewer who's, I guess he's a little, I don't know, a little spammy, a little excessively whatever. But I guess that's how you get subs these days, just by looking like an idiot. I don't know. Saying things that don't make sense, like propping up Kratom. Fucking not a good idea. Not a good idea, brother. Those of you on here or just jumped on, if you have any more questions, post them. Otherwise, we'll kill the stream. I got a lot of content lined up for this week. A lot of really cool topics lined up for this week. Again, you know, I want to make it clear that I was able to take my crit from 50, well, ultimately it was 49 after a phlebotomy, a therapeutic phlebotomy, down to 42.5. And this was with 700 milligrams Naringin a day and running 3 miles a day. You know, so crit is not a death sentence for TRT. Like, you just have to stop. Like, look, if it's that much of a problem, go run. Start running, bro. Start running. Look at that's, what is that, 9.8 points? That's a significant fucking drop, man. My total test right now, again, that was cream plus prop. The cream is out, but now prop is dosed significantly higher, so it's probably right around 3,000. But on that number, bro, I felt incredible. This is just stuff I discussed at the beginning of this video for those of you that are, that just jumped on here. Yeah, I felt my cardio was fucking better. Obviously, strength in the gym is better. General energy is better. My walking erection at that level of testosterone. Estradiol is definitely high. Haven't measured it, but it hasn't been problematic. Likely because of the ratio. And yeah, we're gonna see. I'm in between protocols. The hair shedding on the DHT protocol, I felt so fucking good in it, but the hair shedding was very significant, so I had to back off. And yeah, I'm running now. The cream is out. I'm running 100 milligrams of prop every third day. So I don't know where that's gonna go. I don't even have a definitive protocol at the moment. I'm just playing around with bolus prop basically, and I guess we'll see where I fall. But that 3,000 nanograms total test is something else, brother. Awesome. Have you ever taken prednisone? No. Mohammed, have a good weekend. All right, cool. We'll end the stream, guys. Thank you so much for being with me again. Lots of content coming lined up for this week. If any of you have YouTubers that you want me to do a collab on regarding TRT, hormone, sexual function, or whatever, let me know and just comment it or something, because I see every comment that comes through. And also let them know, let them people know. Yeah, we want to do more collabs. Collabs are just good for everybody. It's good for our channel. It's also good for their channel. It's good for kind of exchanging audiences, but it's also good to have different views, Like I had Ryan Root on recently from Hormones for Me. Guy is a super, a big UGL, it's just a steroid kingpin basically that fucking got indicted and went to serve federal time for it. Now has a clinic, reformed and has a clinic. He's got different views than me regarding estradiol and some other things, prolactin mainly, but it's good to have him on. It's good to have him on, right? Like the guy's actually a really fucking cool guy. And I really enjoyed having that conversation. So if there are people that you guys think I should collab with, tell me in the comments and also tell those people. Yeah, Vigorous Steve will be on the podcast likely later this month. So he's in vacation right now. Where the fuck is he? Dubai? He's somewhere. He's like somewhere on vacation. But yeah, Vigorous Steve will be on the channel on a podcast later this month. So we're already planning it. So that is going to be fucking explosive as usual, boys. As usual. All right. Epic. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll talk to you guys super soon. Later.